Well, hello, 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 and welcome. Oh my goodness, it's so good to be with you again. It's Wednesday night. So it's Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies. Oh, how I love that title. Tonight, we have a beautiful, absolutely amazing young lady who's coming to you. Her name is Lily Chauvin. And Lily is going to share with us so much information, powerful information. She's written a book, which we're going to talk about. She's known as a professional speaker, and she speaks to any and every and all that has to do with empowering women and finding out the you. That's what's so important. Lily is like a new best friend. We scheduled this back in, I think it was the early part of March, and there were all kinds of technical difficulties. But here's what I love about Lily. Lily, like me, has that never say die attitude. I asked her if she would come back again when it was feasible, and she said yes. And even though this might not be the best time because she's in transition, a big major move from one part of the state to another, she still agreed to come and spend the time with us. So I want you to help me. I was going to share a little bit about her background, but then I changed my mind. I'm going to allow her to share a little bit with you about her background because Lily's background is fascinating. And the thing that I want you to stay with is that, hello, hello, and welcome, ladies, is that her background includes 7 beautiful daughters. And I'm all about women and empowering. So let's bring Lily over and say hello. Lily, hello, 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 and welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
So
Thank
good to have
you.
you. So good to have you here. This has been a long time in coming, but let me tell you, you are a trooper as we all are, and I'm so honored to have you here. I can't tell you how pleased I am because I know what you're about right here and now. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. For me, it's an honor, that you would share and the heart that you have for women and leaving a legacy. Hello, 7 daughters. I definitely want to leave a legacy.
Indeed, I get it. I understand it. And that was one of the things that blew me away when I read, because first off, you look like you could be one of the 7 daughters, and I'm not brown nosing you. Tell us, Lily, a little bit about your background and how you came to love what you're doing, and tell us a little bit about the book. Break it down however is best for you.
Break it down. All right, let me break it down Jersey style. I was born in Jersey to a beautiful, amazing Cuban immigrant who had come here to the States. My mom battled cancer for a long time, so I grew
Mm,
up very quickly. I know the brevity of life very, very well.
mhm,
My mom passed when she was 48. I was very
mm.
young, I was 13, but
Wow.
I had her enough to really understand that life is to be lived.
Yes.
Happiness is a choice. I'll never forget when my mom lost all of her hair. Did I tell you I'm a little bit emotional?
Yes, you
If we were
did.
on Facebook Live, I'd be like, drop a one if I have permission to be honest, transparent, and a little bit raw. But
Absolutely.
my mom truly was the person that formed a lot of who I am today because in spite of her losing her hair, I'll never forget the day she came home with a bunch of wigs. One of her friends was owner of a beauty salon, and if you remember back in the 70s, I'm
Yes.
aging myself. I'm
Yes.
aging myself,
Yes.
but
Oh,
she had all these wigs, and she literally did like a fashion show with all her wigs. That's embedded. It's embedded in my mind.
yeah.
So to give you a little bit of my background, that's it. Raised by a woman who was fighting cancer, and as I got older, yeah, we all have life. It's a roller coaster, right? We have challenges, they
Yes.
come and they go. But
Absolutely.
as Pitbull would say, Mr. Worldwide, any day above ground is a good day.
Yes.
So yes, I'm in the middle of a transition, moving the girls from Miami to a city called Winter Garden up near
Yes.
Orlando.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
if anyone has ever moved, it's
Oh,
emotional.
it
It's
is.
emotional.
And stressful.
And yeah, and stressful, and all of that put together. Just finding the time to namaste, namaste, and relax. It's all gonna get done. I keep telling myself that every day. The way that authentically you came about is as a young woman, I found myself pregnant out of wedlock, and when you're in your early 20s, you've got a lot of people around you making all kinds of different decisions, and
Mhm.
I made the decision to keep my child.
Good.
And it was one of the most challenging times in my life because I really had to count.
Yeah.
on the help of other people. I was in school, I was working for an attorney, and with my pregnancy, there was a lot of shame. Does anybody, am I the only one that suffers from shame?
No, 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 no,
There was a
no.
lot of shame that I put on myself, and I kind of started to put on masks to hide that shame.
Yeah,
And it was the whole like, well, if nobody knows, and I'm not genuinely like that. Authentically, I'm a very like transparent. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So throughout the years, I just started to live as other people wanted me to live. I started to do things that were not necessarily what I would have chosen to do, but I guess I was scared. I was young,
absolutely.
and I think it was in 2008, 2009. I started journaling authentically you before all of this authenticity conversations that we hear in personal development now. I literally started journaling about authenticity.
Is that how you started the book and some of that journaling that you did, you went back to put into the book that you have now on Amazon?
Yes,
Well,
absolutely. It turned into a workbook. My marketing director, who was brilliant, kudos to Mylene Obando, she's amazing.
yes,
And Mylene, she said something that made a lot of sense. What's in it for the reader? When someone picks up a book, they're picking it up because something about the book spoke to them, you
yes,
know? And if we can take the book rather than it be Lily's story, how did I overcome my limiting beliefs? How did I overcome the challenges, the courage that it took to, I walked away from a marriage. I made a lot of changes that a lot of people say they want to do, but they don't know how. So the
yes,
book became more of a workbook that I use with clients now to walk them through decisions that they need to make for themselves rather than decisions that they're making to please someone else. We live in a culture where the number one death regret, and you can Google this, the number one death regret on a bed is, I wish I had lived my own life. And
yes,
many times we live our lives according to what our parents want us to become. Go to school because our parents want us to go to school, college.
yes,
Get married, have a child. We're told what to do. And rather than that, I'm a big believer in, what does the spirit tell you to do? We're all on this planet. We're seated. We are all seated, not just
yes.
me, not just Joy. We are all seated with a passion, with a desire. And I think we need to stop. We need to reflect, and we need to follow and pull that passion and seed out and grow it.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind, Lily. The connection is just so crystal clear in that regard for me. Let me ask you, you started to journal and all of this information, however you put it together in the book that you have, Authentically You. When did you decide that you were going to be an entrepreneurial person? When did you decide that you were going to build and have your own business and do your own thing as far as work, career?
I think I was 7 when I was selling Reese's peanut butter cups in elementary school.
I love it.
I'll bring them to school, and I'm like, I'd sell them for a quarter more than what I bought them. But on a serious note, I mean, I left my career after my fifth daughter was born. I mean, we say we leave our careers, it's all a transition. I decided to work from home so that I could stay home with the girls. And I was led into an industry where relationships are key. And I started to develop that entrepreneurial bloodline and building relationships. So that was, I guess, 2005.
Well, you hit upon one of my favorite words. I have three names, redundancy, and I repeat things, but for a reason. And one of them is relationships. I believe so strongly in building good, hearty, healthy relationships. And Lily, for me, and tell me your thinking, the first relationship you have to build authentically is with yourself. Yes.
Exactly.
So now you have so many things that you can share and speak with us about. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you put in your bio. To me, I absolutely adore people before profit. Wonderful. And collaboration versus competition. Speak a little bit about that if you could.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, who has the money? Where is the money? It's in people's pockets.
Hmm.
We are the ones that control the economy. If somebody goes out and buys something and then they tell their friend and they go buy it, the people are the ones that are controlling the economy. So why don't we start treating one another with respect, with honor, edifying one another? I'm a big believer in communication. And when we have good communication and we have integrity and we have honor, equals trustworthiness,
Yes.
and I'll be the first one to say all of my choices have not always been great. There are some relationships that, some are for a season, some are for a reason, some are for a lifetime. Sometimes, I've broken relationships where maybe I was too stubborn, or maybe I wasn't a great listener. But at the end of the day, when we learn to say I'm sorry, like I should have listened to you better, or maybe I was just hearing what I wanted to hear, not what you were saying. So people before profit takes communication and listening.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something that I have a friend who says to me, "You're always getting ready to get ready." And there's a lot of truth, a smidgen of truth in that, because we don't want to make mistakes, but mistakes are part of growing. Mistakes are part of evolving to all that you're here to be. And
Yes.
if everything, there is no perfect. Even when you're striving for excellent, you have to make mistakes, because if you don't learn from those mistakes, you might as well hang it up. So that's what you're saying in another different verbiage, but the same meaning, I think. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. I think Thomas Edison said it best when he was interviewed with, the light, and how many times did you fail before you found light? And he said none.
Absolutely.
And the lady was like dumbfounded. What do you mean none? And he said, because I just found thousands of ways how not to make light.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
leads us, and regardless, I always say relationships, whether they're romantic, whether they're family, whether they're business, whether they're just a quick relationship that you talk to someone at the grocery store, you never know. It just
Yeah.
takes, time to develop them.
You never know is right. You never know. And that leads to collaboration versus competition. I love this as well, too, because we as women have had for centuries all of these negative connotations. I don't listen. I don't buy into them. I believe that women who are in the process of getting themselves together and growing into their best self, they only want to support and highlight and empower other women as they grow. And I know, I don't even have to ask you, that you have the same mindset. So when you speak about collaboration versus competition, how are you speaking to that, and what exactly do you mean by that?
Plain and simple, if we all worked together and we really didn't care about who got the credit, we would get so much more accomplished.
Hmm.
And when we're able to edify one another, you'll hear me say that word a lot. I'm a big believer in edification.
Yes.
If we can find the good, if we can edify the good, if we can say, wow, Joy, you did a spectacular job. I think you've got this great platform, rather than I want a platform. I don't know why she has one and I don't have one. I'm a big believer in just asking. If you want what someone else has, ask. Just
Yes.
ask. What did
Yeah.
you do? How did you do it? What kind of lighting do you have? When do you go on? What's the best day of the week? If we helped each other, if we gave each other tips, there are 7.5 billion people on the planet. And if I would have kept multiplying, it would have been 7.6 billion people on the planet. But why are we competing with one another? The only competition is the man in the mirror. Be a better person tomorrow than I
There you
am
go.
today.
I think that
Collaborations create spectacular futures.
I think so. And I think the key thing with the collaboration is getting to know who you are. And you see something that you like and you admire and you respect, whatever, emulate it in your fashion, in your style, not the person that you're seeing and you admire and you like, because that's not you. Make it yours in a way that's engaging. And here's the other: how to create engagement on Facebook Live. Now, everybody wants to know about this, right? Because everything is constantly changing on Facebook. Every time you turn around, you think you have something, they change. But change is good, change is healthy. So, tell us a little bit about engagement on Facebook and how you can do it successfully.
Genuine, just genuine. Be you, like unapologetically you. Do some of us look alike in the sense that we may have the same, you know, demeanors, we might have the same verbiage. Some of us listen to the same personal development, so we may sound familiar, but
Hmm.
there's no cookie cutter. There's really no cookie cutters. So engagement always comes. Let me tell you, if there's something people can tell, is when someone's being real.
Yeah.
For real, no joke. That's why to me, like, I'm comfortable in a cap. I love wearing a cap, which is hysterical because I had a cap on. See, I had a cap on, and my girlfriend's like, nah, take the cap off. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's just me. So just be you. Who are you? What makes you? If you want engagement, you're not going to reach everybody. That's for sure. I mean, maybe I'm the only one on the planet that has a hater. I see Nicole is watching. Nicole and I have had this conversation. You know, when you have a hater, you've arrived. It's like, okay, I think I'm going somewhere with this because we stir up, what is it? Our message comes from our mess and
Yeah.
it stirs people up. And let me tell you, the ones that cannot own their own stuff and sit in front of a mirror and kind of fix their own mess, they then pick on our messes. Well, why are you? I know you. You're a mess. You had a baby out of wedlock. I know you. You're not who you say you are. They love to pick out like the things we've done, and maybe not my proudest moments, but give me the opportunity, I'll talk about what I've done. But yeah, you can't
Yeah.
get out there thinking you're never going to have a hater.
Because there's no shame in what you've done. You have done whatever it was, and you have grown from that adventure,
Yes.
that experience, and you are about sharing that with others. And I'm very karmic and I don't believe in accidents. I think things happen for a reason, the good, bad, and the maybe not so pretty. But the first thing that you have to do is get to know you. You have to be you, and I love that. And now that leads me to this. Everything with you is an acronym, so less, more or less. Be you. Start with the B and tell us and explain to us a little bit about that. How
Well,
you put
I'd
that
love
in.
to talk to you about BU, but can I share a little bit about being baited?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
and
Positive.
that this is the thing,
Thank you
and
for that.
I
Yes.
know we all have pain. There's
Mm-hmm.
a saying that says turn your pain into your power, right?
Yeah.
So we can touch a little bit on baiting, right? Have you ever felt like a bait? Has anyone out there, be it for betrayal, has anyone out there ever experienced a betrayal? Whether it be a spouse, whether it be a parent, unfortunately, sometimes we betray our children. We don't know it because what is it? Perception, those paradigm shifts. We all see things from a different. I listen to my adult children now,
Yes.
and they'll describe something of their childhood. I remember it as a positive thing. They remember it as a betrayal, as a negative thing. So, if we feel betrayed, right? We were baited into feeling betrayed. Did you want to ask a question?
Not only did I want to ask you something, but I also want to say what you're just speaking to has a great deal to do with parenting too, because each of your seven beautiful girls, they're all vastly different. They might have a lot of similarities, a couple of them, but the beauty of parenting and doing a job that's admirable is that you connect and relate to the differences in them, and you don't treat them all the same. And
Because
that's
you're not.
in a
Yeah, I
no,
mean, I
no
always
one is.
tell them I was a vessel that God used to bring you to the earth. I'm a big believer children choose. Like, and this is a story for another day. We don't need to
Me
go down that
too.
rabbit
Me
trail.
too.
But they chose me to be their mom. And I'm like, you chose me, you crazy Cuban lady, you chose me. But
Yes.
to give you an example, I homeschooled my older daughter. And even though I saw it, like I sheltered her, I took her out of bullying
Uh-huh.
experiences. And I will go to my grave thinking, wow, I did a great thing. But yet she looks back at that as, man, mom, you betrayed me. Like I didn't get to go to prom. I didn't get to go to a high school graduation. I didn't get to do all of that. And yet I can't get upset at her because see, we each have our own perceptions. So,
Absolutely.
I'm a big believer. If someone says, you hurt me, the only words that should come out of my mouth is, I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention. I was very sheltering with the oldest, and I'll start crying because to
Hmm.
me, I had her so young. If I could have kept her in a bubble, I would have. My choices, and I know because we only know why we do what we do. We can't judge the other person. So betrayals, a lot of times cause us a lot of pain and we feel baited like why didn't I get to go to, high school? Why didn't I get to go to prom? Shame on my mom. But and you know, it's just as an example. I'm sure there's other feelings of betrayal we may have. You know, we may trust the wrong person and they turn around and you say once, what is it, the telephone game? You
Yes.
say a story one way and the other person says it another.
Yeah.
So that's one of the pains. And then the A, sometimes we get baited into feeling abandoned. So for
Yes.
example, when I was very young and my mom died, that was a feeling of abandonment. Did
Yes.
she
Yes. Yes.
choose to go 6 feet under the ground? No. I think if my mom would have had a wish come true, it would have been to live to be 103, like you and I were talking about off camera.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, like I literally want to live to be over 100. I just want to break that century
Yes.
mark,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But you know, I couldn't have lived my life thinking my mother abandoned me. So in that pain, there needed to be a process of healing. And just like there are people listening, you may have a feeling of abandonment and the other person doesn't even know that they abandoned you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they walked away from you thinking, well, this isn't the right time in my life and I'm just going to walk away from this. While that child or that significant other, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, they may feel abandoned, you know, so there's always perception.
That's a very big one, abandonment, especially, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't know, but I volunteer with young juvenile delinquent girls, and there's a big part of that in that circle in that. Where do we go when we get to the I and the T? Because I want to move along to some of the other things that we want to talk about.
Yes.
What's the I and
So
the
we've
T?
got betrayals, we have abandonment, we have ignoring. You know, there's
Ignoring.
there's a lot of ignoring that goes on, or ghosting. I think the millennials call it ghosting.
Yeah.
Whatever we want to call the behavior, you
Yes.
know, that creates pain. When we just ignore a situation, it really doesn't go away. You
No.
know,
Not
ignoring.
until you address
And
it, right?
I'm sorry?
Not until you address it.
Not until you address it. And
Hmm.
sometimes we need to address being ignored, whether it be by an employer or a
Yes.
boyfriend or a girlfriend, on our own, because the other person really has no intention to apologize for why they're doing what they're doing. And then to
Hmm.
finish off, because these are the pains: betrayal, abandonment, ignoring, and then being taken, being
Ah.
fooled. That is one of the worst pains, that you feel taken for a fool. How many
Yeah.
times in whatever industry we work in,
Yeah.
we may come up with a great idea, take it to our boss. The boss says, nah, I'm not going to use that. And a year later, they run with it as their own idea. You're taken for a fool. How many times do you date someone and you feel connected and it's you've got this chemistry, only to find out that person's married, or only to find out that person truly isn't really honorable and have integrity and they're cheating? You feel taken for a fool. So when we have those pains and we feel baited, how do we process those pains? That's where Be You comes in. Because at the end of the day, it's not selfish. It's not selfish to be selfless. Is that
You know,
clear? It is
I,
not selfish to be selfless.
I got it. I got it.
Got that?
And
Because
I don't.
you know, I'm not a fan of, oh, it's all about me, it's all about me. And
Yeah.
that's not what I mean when I say be you. We can be you by honoring, by
Yeah.
caring, and by respecting others. So did you want me to break it down with be you?
No, no, but yes, I do. But before you go there, you are good at breaking it down because do you ever feel like you've been baited? Was a question mark for some of the people who were
Yes.
tuning into that. So the way that you explained that was crystal clear, brilliantly done. Yes, now we can go to be you and take that away and tell us what you mean by that.
Yes, because I know, and I could sit here, you and I can talk about this, especially you work with girls that are
Yes.
dealing with abandonment. So we've got these pains, and maybe it's just you and me, Joy. I don't know if anybody watching has pains, but I'd like to think every single person in the planet has pains. So what do we do? How do we process that pain? And it all comes down to how we treat ourselves. Am
Yes.
I the only one? Drop a heart in the comment section if I am the only one out there that is hard on herself or himself. We
Hmm.
are harder on ourselves than we are on other people. So if we were to show ourselves the love and the respect and the honor that we give to others, we would heal. We would heal, because we would have to be honest with our pain. So the B starts, it goes for belief. The B is belief. Nobody can take your belief away. No one. You can lose your home, been there. You can lose family, been there. You can lose your job, been there. But nobody can ever strip me away from the belief that all things will work out for good for those who love the Lord. I
Lovely.
am a big believer. If we believe, and everyone has, I'm going to give a disclaimer, everyone has the ability to have their own belief. May
Yes.
I please have permission to be unapologetically in what my beliefs are? And I believe
Yes.
I was created. I'm a big believer that there's a purpose
Yes.
inside. So we have to have the belief
Yes.
in order to process pain.
You know what, Lily, I think that the way that you're expressing this is really quite more than crystal clear, because I only think when you come to this, the BU, and you're going to break it down a wee bit more, and the B, which is for belief, only when you're strong in your belief but open to others are you able to have a civil, decent conversation with other people who might not have your belief, might not be in the same circle or the tribe that you're in, yet they're open enough and strong enough in their belief that they can listen and hear what you have to say. I think that's a
Yes,
big, big difference.
wholeheartedly believe that. It's
Indeed.
called respecting one another, honoring one another. There is no condemnation in a real, genuine conversation. There's no,
Absolutely.
well, you did this and you did that, or you
Right.
believe in that. We all have the
Right.
opportunity to have our own belief, and when we respect it and
Oh,
honor it, we can learn from one
Lily,
another.
my love, we could go on and on, but I want to get to the B, the E, the U, and then I want to get to form
Alrighty.
before we say so long. So break that down for us, the
All
E,
right.
the
So we've
Y,
got
and the O.
belief.
Yes.
E is for energy. E
Yes.
is for energy. Pay close attention to what you are allowing in your life. If someone does not want to be in your life, you got to let them go,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because
Yes.
positive energy is created by someone who desires to be in your life. Positive energy is by doing in life what you desire, your job, your whatever your platform is, whatever you choose to do for work, energy. So pay close attention to the energy that you have around you, because that is part of healing.
Right.
Why? The Y in the U is for say yes more. Say yes
I
more and
love it.
figure it
Yes.
out
Yes.
later.
Yes.
Figure it
Yes.
out later. So I said yes to dancing burlesque a couple of years ago. A girlfriend of mine asked me, what is it that you would do if you could like be young again and you could choose? I said I'd be a dancer in Vegas. I think the whole feather thing and the big stilettos, I'm just
You like
fascinated by
you
it.
like the showgirls, Lily.
I love it. I love it. So you're never too old to learn something new.
No,
And
never.
I start back in September. So I'm excited. I'm getting in shape now to get back. I'm not gonna be on the Vegas stage, but at least I
I
get to
love
do
it.
it once a week
I
for
love
myself. So say
it.
yes more, even if it's gonna stir the waters.
Yes.
Trust me, I had to explain to my children that dancing burlesque and stripping is not the same thing. So say yes to whatever it is for you. And then the O, you hit the nail on the head, my dear friend
Yes.
Joy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
O is for open minded.
Yes.
Be open minded. Ask the question. My guy friends, I hang out with a lot of guys. They're like, oh,
Good.
I don't want to ask this girl out. She's going to turn me down. Then you don't know that. You don't know that.
No.
Be open minded. Walk into it with an open mind. Ask her out. Say, I'm sorry. That person might reciprocate. Be open minded. Listen to someone else's beliefs.
Yes.
Listen to someone else's culture. You might learn something. So that's
Indeed.
what the O stands for. I
And
believe
you.
when we're open minded, we open pathways to
Yeah.
learning more.
Oh, you bet.
And
You
the
bet.
U, are you ready? Because
Yes.
my 14-year-old helped me with this one. So I got to give credit where credit is due. The U is for us. Us.
Ooh, I like it.
We would live in a better planet if we
I
respected
like it.
us. Us.
Yes.
In spite of our differences, in spite of our baggage. When you go to the airport and they're grabbing your bags and they're helping you pack those bags and put them away, isn't it great? You're not having to carry it by yourself. When you and I love one another, we love one another enough to carry each other's baggage.
I think it's
Bam!
fantastic. I love
There you
that.
go.
You couldn't get you are a marvel. I just love it. Listen, time goes here, and we don't have that much time, but I want you to speak very briefly, if you can, about building relationships and what form, F-O-R-M, means. Just give us the outline, and then we'll take it from there, Lily, because time, you're so, the word that the only word that comes to mind, I like it in certain contexts, not here, but it comes to mind. You're so juicy. You got so much information.
Mm, juicy.
I don't
That's
want
gonna be my stage name. So stealing that right now.
that would be
So
it. That
here,
would be it. I
coming
don't want
on
you to go,
next
but
is
time just
Lily
goes. We have,
Chauvin,
I
also
want
known as Juicy.
I love it. Listen, tell us what that means briefly, form, what that's
Yes.
for, and then we'll go from there.
And it literally, I cannot stress enough, be genuine. When we're forming somebody, when we're talking to someone, what does form mean? Ask them about their family.
Yes,
So many times I hear people say, well, aren't people going to think I'm nosy if I'm asking them questions? No, those are our own insecurities speaking.
yes,
It is our own insecurity speaking when we think people don't want to talk about themselves. Can I
right.
give you guys a hint? Here's a secret. Are you ready? Write this down.
Got it.
Everybody likes to talk about themselves. Really? We all like to talk about ourselves. So ask people about their family. You know, if they don't have children, maybe they have cats. If they don't have cats, maybe they have fish. If they don't have fish, maybe they have a dog. So family is the F. Ask them about their family. Ask them about their occupation. Some of us love what we do for a living. Some of us are in a transition. Some
Yes,
of us hate what we do for a living. But ask them, what do you do? Like, what's your occupation? So, family, occupation. Okay, here's a fun one. I can go on and talk about recreation. What do we do for recreation? I love to dance. Put me on a dance floor. I love to read. I love to walk on the beach. I love kissing. Love kissing. What is your recreation?
you're
Come on now. Family, occupation, recreation. And this is the kicker. We all have a message. We
yes.
either want to talk to but we always want to talk to somebody about something. If
You,
we genuinely listen to them about their family, about their occupation, about what they like to do for recreation and fun, right? We can share our message with them and they're going to be so much more reciprocal. They're going to be so much more intent to listen.
yes.
Build relationships, my friends.
Lily, Lily Chauvin, you are a marvel. You could be
Thank
in
you.
a Marvel cartoon like that just because you would be the super Wonder Woman of it all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anything, my love, that I didn't ask you that you'd like to talk about or leave us with before you say so long for now? Because you must come back again and again. You're going to be one of the regulars. I just adore. I'm sitting here just with bated breath because there's so much I want to ask you, but time takes over. So tell us, is there anything I missed or anything you want to leave us with when you say so long for now?
Absolutely. And in all transparency, before we went on, I said to you, I said, Joy, I almost canceled
Yes.
because I've been so emotional.
Yeah.
And, I've had some pains in the last month. It,
Mm.
it literally, my birthday was a climax, right? And
Mm-hmm.
after that, it's just been weeks of moving, packing. So when I say goodbye, let me make this very clear to you, my friends. No matter what storm we are in, no matter the betrayals, the abandonment, the being ignored, the tests that we're in, my friends, choose to be happy. Choose to surround yourself with people that are encouraging you.
Yes.
Choose to get on with joy, even though you wanted to just climb on bed
Yes.
today. So
Yes.
when I say just because you see a smile, some of us that smile are hurting the most. So
Yes.
before I say goodbye, I encourage you to be a rainbow, even in the middle of your own storm, my friends. Be a rainbow to somebody else.
Lily, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to invite you, no better way to end, into the green room once again, but don't leave, stay there. I want to say so long to the audience
Okay.
and thank you, my heart. That was absolutely beyond beautiful. I
Thank you. Thank
enjoyed
you for having
listening.
me. Thank you.
Thank you. So long for now. Oh, what can I say, my friend? Lily is beyond a marvel. She is a delight. As I mentioned earlier, she was scheduled before. We had all kinds of technical craziness going on. We weren't able to get the show up and running, but this time around it was so worth it. And I know, like me, you want me to have her back again and again and again, and I will. She's in transition now, as she mentioned, but the information she has to share with us is so valuable. And she's such a wonderful, loving, all heart centered leader in the arena that she's in. May I say to you that it's always a pleasure to be with you. It's always good when I look out and see that you're here because I know that the time is not the best. But for those of you who come and watch the replay, please type in hashtag replay so that I'll know that you were here. We're building. And the other thing, we mentioned it. Lily mentioned it. I mentioned it. Relationships are everything. So there is a new quiz, a personality code that gives you your communication style. You got to know yours first, and then you'll find and discover, study the other three, and you'll have a better means and way of communicating with the other person so that it's a win-win for both of you. So if you want to share with us what you think you are and who you think you might be in the communication style, just type key, Key, and then you'll get a personality assessment that's complimentary, and you'll be able to get to your complimentary communicating style, which is important. Thank you for being here. Lily is a dynamo, and I know that you enjoyed the show. I'm sitting here, the hostess, and I'm just absolutely blown away with all of this simplistic but so powerful information that she shared with us. So please connect with her. Her website, her book, and her email address is there for you. Take advantage of it. And then I'll look to see you next. Oh, by the way, it's a holiday weekend coming up. Enjoy. Have a blast. Celebrate the 4th of July with big, big fun. We will not be doing a show on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. I neglected to tell you that. It is a holiday week and there are some plans. Won't be able to do it, but we'll be back the following week. And I'll put this up in another notification so that you won't be expecting to see us next Tuesday or Wednesday. Have a great, great weekend and enjoy the holiday. All the best, my friends. So great to see you here always. Until the next time, you be and stay well. Look after you first, as Lily said, and then you'll be able to look after and serve many, many others. Take care, my friend. All the best. So long for now. Cheers.